Hello, everybody. It's Jason Grill, host of the Grill Nation Show. Thanks for joining us today. If you're listening on the radio on KMBZ 980 AM, if you're joining us on podcast networks, or if you are on our website, grillnationshow.com, we greatly appreciate it. Also, I appreciate those who will be joining us today on the live stream on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. We are going to have a really fun and informative show today. It's going to be awesome. And if you want to connect with me, you can find me on social media. Just search for Jason Grill on Twitter at Jason Grill and at Grill Nation Show. Also on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn at Jason Grill. And as always, we like to collaborate. So if you want to be a guest on the show or partner or sponsor the Grill Nation Show with Jason Grill, we would love to hear from you. Connect with me at grillnationshow@gmail.com. Okay, today's show is going to be awesome. As I said, I am joined now by the founder of Imperial Golf. The website is imperialgolfkc.com. Welcome to the show, Jon Snyder. How are you today, Jon?
Doing great, man. Doing great. Thanks for having me on.
It's great to have you on. We're going to talk about so many things about my golf game, what you do at Imperial Golf, what your instruction looked like, the simulator. We'll probably get into that, your growth, all these different things. It's going to be a fun show. But first off, tell me about yourself. Let's get into kind of your background and journey so we know more about you before we get into your business.
Well, I can give you some broad background. I actually grew up in eastern Iowa on a farm of all places. Didn't grow up in the country club. But yeah, I just kind of fell in love with golf because of grandfather. Pretty typical story, but he was a big baseball player and a big golfer, and he got me actually into both of those sports. And he actually passed away when I was pretty young, 10 years old. He passed away from cancer, prostate cancer. But he was my only source for golf, and my parents didn't really play. My brother dabbled in it, but small town Iowa, there wasn't. There's not golf instructors in pastures just hanging out. So, it was kind of a self-learning experience. And I pulled from baseball and other sports, but, and so really growing up, it was pretty limited. And then till high school, moved to town and got onto the varsity team there freshman year. And that's when golf really started to take hold. And it kind of took over my life because baseball was originally my big sport. I don't know if you knew that or not, but
I did not.
Like I used to.
I looked at the swing, and it's so much. You could have been in that home run derby.
Looks like a baseball swing. That's not a good thing. That's not a compliment. So, can you still hear me, buddy? I think we cut out there. Oh, you there?
We did. Okay. Yeah, we're fine. Let's start over there. Okay. You were talking about your baseball swing, Jon. Let's start there.
Yeah, I said hopefully you weren't complimenting me on that because if I have a baseball swing in golf, we're screwed.
I know. Okay. Yeah, but you play baseball as well. You have a love for baseball.
Yeah, so I was a pitcher growing up and played a bunch of leagues and really wanted to be pretty serious with that for a while, but had some issues with an ankle and some other physical issues that kind of kept me from those more intense sports. So golf took over, and believe it or not, I even dabbled in teaching a bit when I was young. Not that I was qualified.
So take us through the journey then. So after you played in high school, you went to college, you did all of the golfing stuff. Yeah. When did you start taking it seriously that I could make a living out of this?
Well, that's a different story because in high school, I was taking it seriously in high school. Played a lot of tournaments, started playing AJGA. I don't know if you know what that is. That's a junior golf association. That's when I got a real taste of seriously good players. I was shooting an 84 at 14 years old thinking I was pretty hot stuff. And you meet these other 14-year-olds shooting 68s, it kind of puts you into reality. So, yeah, I had a lot of work to do, but I actually went to Iowa State for 2 years to study landscape architecture. And so I had an interest in golf course design and kind of taking that route, but that's a pretty limited route. I don't know if you're aware of that, but landscape architecture, you're more designing someone's backyard than you are golf courses. So you don't just jump into golf course design, but you have to kind of get invited into it. But so, and then I actually took a year off from college and went into AmeriCorps for a year. AmeriCorps is like a national service program, essentially. And you just do projects around the country for a year. And that was kind of the year that gave me some time to think about what I really want to do with my life and career. And so I would have to credit AmeriCorps in that year to kind of helping me find myself, I guess. And that's when it came more into clarity that golf was something I needed to pursue. I just didn't know how to. And interestingly, that's how I met JT too. JT went to the Golf Academy of America with me in Myrtle Beach, and we met there.
JT works with you at Imperial Golf, so
yeah, it's a cool story, man. We've been
we'll get into that more in the second segment, the actual
absolutely.
Topic. But you did go to Myrtle Beach then. What is that like? The Golf Academy?
For a farm boy from Iowa, a bit weird. It was a bit of a culture shock, but I loved it overall. It was a good experience. We got in touch with a lot of inspirational people. There were some mentors that I had that held really cool positions. One of my mentors was the GM at TPC Scottsdale, actually, for 14 years or something like that.
I'll let everyone listening know that I actually birdied the 16th hole at TPC Scottsdale.
Oh, you did? Nice.
It was in December of 2016 or 17. I can't remember. And they had the stadium being built. And my caddy that day caddied for Kenny Perry on the I think that's his name.
Oh, wow.
On the tour. Yeah. And that was my only birdie that day. So, and that was hit a golf club well. So, if I still can, I don't know. But Jon, that's a cool story. So you went out and what do they do at the Golf Academy? When you leave the Golf Academy, what do you do after that? What were you thinking of doing then?
Well, so truth be told, like going into it, just to give you a little bit of quick background, I didn't really know how to pursue golf at first. Just again, not growing in that whole atmosphere of the country club and knowing the steps. I wasn't sure. I knew I wanted to be in golf. I just wasn't sure how. So the Golf Academy of America was literally the byproduct of a few commercials and some web searches. I mean, I didn't know what the heck I was looking for. Again, so it was one option. There are other options. There's PGM programs. You can go to these 4-year college degree PGM programs. I had already done 2 years of college, didn't know how I wanted to go forward. So Golf Academy of America is just what I picked. And there were other options. And then beyond it, it's just a starting point really you can kind of branch off. I mean, it doesn't have to be just teaching. So Golf Academy of America is like a starting point for, many different careers in the golf industry, basically.
Got it.
Yeah. I kind of angled towards teaching quickly though, because they have like advanced teaching classes and sports psychology and anatomy and stuff like that. I really kind of angled at that quick.
That's interesting. Jon Snyder is our guest on the Grill Nation show. He's the founder of Imperial Golf. Their website is imperialgolfkc.com. We're going to get more into that and kind of how you grow your business, and we'll follow up from there after the break. You're listening to the Grill Nation show with Jason Grill. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Okay, so how do I, we're on break now, but how do I actually, can you do this in your 40s? Can I just quit my day jobs and drive to South Carolina to learn some kind of way to work in golf? How many times a friend of mine is a lobbyist for like the PGA, or this person is in for the tour, and I'm like, man, what a job! Like what a livelihood! You literally travel to golf courses and take it in. I know for them, they're probably sick of golf, but it's
Well, there is that, dude. You as I always say, the grass is always greener on the other side until it's not.
Were most people there like younger, or what was that like?
Oh, it was a broad spectrum. I mean, a lot of younger people for sure. There was a lot of kids that were fresh out of high school, but then there was also middle-aged guys out of the military. So, I mean, it was a whole spread of people, some with other professions and backgrounds that were just retiring from those and wanted to focus on golf. And then some people that wanted to be lifers, young kids that wanted to do it long term. And honestly, like any trade or profession, a lot of people that didn't really care either. Yeah.
God, that's fascinating. It's so
Yeah.
okay. So he's giving me the heads up here. We are ready for segment 2. Um, okay, this is we're going to start here on our radio on 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the Grill Nation show with Jason Grill. I appreciate you joining us today again, however you're listening. You connect with us online at grillnationshow.com. Want to get right back to our guest. There's so much to talk about with Jon Snyder, who is the founder of Imperial Golf. The website is imperialgolfkc.com. Jon, give us the Reader's Digest version real briefly and pick up where we were about, you leave the academy. What's next? You came to Kansas City. You're not a native Kansas City. And how did that transpire?
Nope. Well, I mean, first of all, being from Iowa, the people here in Kansas City are very similar. So it was an easy transition for sure. Came here for a job originally. So in 2013, I think that would have been, or end of 2012, came here for a job actually with Edwin Watts Golf Academy. They were partnered with Edwin Watts, if you know Edwin Watts Retail. And they had already established business going. So got going with them for probably a good year and a half. They had some business troubles and ways that they ran the business that weren't gonna stick. So it just kind of fizzled out, and they ended up having to kind of shut down their whole operation, which is really what bridged the gap to us starting Imperial Golf.
Okay.
And so that's really how Imperial Golf got started. Was we had this following of a year to a year and a half of clients, and we basically pulled them over to our new facility.
Okay, so take us through what Imperial Golf is like. What do you do? Give us the elevator pitch on Imperial Golf.
Imperial Golf is essentially an indoor training facility. We use high-speed video. We record all of our lessons in our programs. We also utilize simulator tech, so we have a flight scope in the back room. Might as well plug our expansion. We're actually getting ready to build on and add a whole new simulator unit from Foresight Sports. Pretty excited about that. And then we do some fitting on the side as well. So we actually work currently with Mizuno Golf, and we're considering kind of branching out into some other brands and becoming more of a fitting center, complementary in a sense. But we're primarily an instructional studio. That's what we do. It's what most of our hours are spent doing.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
So you have the lessons. Okay, so when did you actually know that this could be something? I mean, you said you had some clients that you met in your prior job, but of course, now that you've started your own business, ImperialGolfKC.com, you have partners, you have JTs there instructing as well. Did you know you could actually, this could be something that could be a financial livelihood for your business?
Do you like honesty on this show?
Yeah, we do. We have business owners, entrepreneurs, golfers listening.
To be candid, dude, I don't really have a moment. There wasn't a moment. I was scared the whole time. I'm still scared. I'm just working. So we work our butts off. We study hard, but I mean, the golf business is fun, but it's just as savage as any other business. You still have competitors. Your reputation's on the line every day, and so there wasn't a moment where I was just like, oh, this is obviously gonna just take off. There's a lot of ups and downs, to be very candid about business. There's probably more downs in the beginning than ups. Yeah. And that's because you're starting from zero. I mean, we pulled some clients over, but we had zero money. We had nothing. I mean, it was terrifying, so.
But you knew you loved doing it. You knew you loved you loved the game of golf, obviously. So that's why you did it. And
absolutely, yeah.
And just so our listeners know, your location is up in Parkville. I didn't mention that yet. And near
Parkville Commons,
Parkville Commons, near the Nick and Jake's up there, somewhere in that area. If you've been familiar with that, close to 64th Street, and really
close to the YMCA.
Yeah, close to the YMCA and the downtown Parkville area, City Hall and whatnot. Okay, so you did connect with JT.
Yes.
Tell us about him and kind of what he does with you and how that relationship has grown.
I can try to give you a quick background on him and then what he does for me. He was someone that I met at the golf academy. We became friends at the golf academy in school, and so it was one. I guess a quick side note story to that. One thing that's kind of funny: Imperial Golf actually was thought up as a name and a business while we were in college.
Really?
Which kind of makes it a little, yeah, because one of our projects was to do a mock business, basically start our own, instructional or fitting company. And we came up with the name Imperial Golf and had kind of thought this through a little bit years before it happened. So it's kind of funny we came full circle and utilized that name. And
let's see your, for those
Yeah.
watching, you do have a logoed polo on.
Yep.
There it is.
Yeah, you can see it there.
I love it. We'll zoom in on you.
Yep.
You guys connected at Academy and then at Edwin Watts, I'm assuming, correct?
Yeah. Say that again. Sorry.
You connected at the Academy in South Carolina, and you came back to Kansas City as well.
Yeah. So for whatever reason, we were pulled both to Kansas City with the same company. We got pretty lucky. We were able to work together to start out, which I think was, it was a great thing. JT and I got to know each other better and see how each other works and whatnot. And so it was a development period for sure. Edwin Watts was great because it was a development period. It kind of helped us learn how to become better coaches and whatnot. So, and then I won't tell the whole story of JT going back and forth because he moved around the country like 4 or 5 times. It was kind of insane. He didn't start Imperial with me. I was actually had an ex-business partner that I bought out in 2017. And JT had kind of his own things going. He was moving around the country a few times, and I pulled him back here a few years ago, and that's when we kind of got him going. So
I love it. I love it. And, he's always there teaching as well. Jon Snyder is with us. He is the founder of Imperial Golf. Their website is imperialgolfkc.com. They do swing analysis. They do golf lessons. They do programs. They do fittings for their clubs. They have a golf simulator. They're expanding with a expansion. Tell us about that again. So you're going to be expanding right next door, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. We're pretty stoked about that. It's not a big expansion, only about 800 square feet or so, but we just wanted enough space for a whole new simulator setup because we want to grow our public use and also fitting. Plus, we're excited to update to a whole new system. The accuracy of it's supposed to be top notch, and it's the GC Hawk unit from Foresight Sports. So, and we're building an office, and everyone knows that you need an office, right? You need to be able to shut your door once in a while. So I'm excited for that too. It'll help me be a little more productive. You guys
work with all ages. I go in there sometimes. Yes. There's a high school kid who's way better at golf than me, and then you'll have like an older person retired in there too.
Yeah. And then you'll even have Jason in there too. You
guys, golf fans all ages. From you work with not only competitive, people trying to do better in golf, but also retirees trying to break 90.
Yeah, which it's a tough dynamic because you can kind of choose to narrow down your client base at some point if you want to. That's the whole thing with teaching is, do you want to angle it towards competitive or the casual golfer or whatever? We're pretty broad, but it's more from a sense of we like bringing golf to people in general. It doesn't really matter what their skill level is or their age. That being said, our one requirement with every client is that they're passionate and that they want to be there. Because if they're there, stressing or wasting our time, it's not as worth it for us. So that's our one thing is we want you to be engaged and really following the process. So
and we'll get into that process in the next segment. I think that I've been doing 30-minute lessons once a week for 16 weeks now. Wow. I actually committed to that. I've never done anything like that in my life. Never played golf growing up. Only started playing golf probably 5 years ago, seriously, maybe less. But anyways, just never.
That's how recent you started. I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
only 5 years ago.
Scrambles, when I was out of politics. But actually, when I joined the Deuce, that was probably 2017, and that's when I started playing more and then traveling more and enjoying it more. So, but anyways, we'll get into that next segment. You're going to critique me.
Yeah.
Best lesson learned when owning a business. What is the best lesson you've learned, Jon Snyder from ImperialGolfKC.com, since you started?
There's a lot of lessons, and I would say, I mean, it's kind of general, but patience. Patience is like the biggest one, and I mean,
Tell that to
there's,
your clients as well.
yeah, well, yeah, it goes both ways, doesn't it? So I mean, really, from a standpoint of business, is it's a marathon, especially when you're doing what we're doing. It's not like we're cranking out, some chintzy product on a factory line. So it's this is more relationship building and long term, and so it's weighed on us. I tend not to be too emotional of a guy, but like as far as the psyche part of instruction, I mean, I'm telling you, it's tiring. I mean, it takes a lot of energy out of you to do this like every day, all day, through the whole week. We love it, of course. I wouldn't keep doing it if we didn't. But so yeah, I'd have to say patience is kind of the key, and I'm still learning it. It's not like I'm done. I'm good now. No, it's like a everyday practice.
So before we go to break, we got 45 seconds left in the segment.
Yeah.
Tell us kind of how you grew the most. I mean, obviously references,
Yeah.
social media.
Yeah.
Jake does a good job
Yeah.
at marketing.
Yeah.
Is that how you grow? Or is it just golfers getting better?
It's both. JT, shout out to JT because he's been just freaking phenomenal. I mean, his use of social media and ability to connect with people across the country. I couldn't do it because it stresses me out. I like running a business. I don't really want to engage at that level, but he does a phenomenal job. And then obviously referrals are huge, So if we do well with people, they tend to refer their friends and family to us.
Let me just tell you this, John. A friend of mine who I brought to the simulator last weekend has just started playing, and I gave him like a couple little tips that you had given me, and he's sending me thank you messages already.
That's a big uh-oh.
He's getting more pop on his swing. So I'm just telling you, man,
stay in your lane.
If someone's shaking the ball or someone asks, I will now give them some of the little things that you've given me as tidbits. So maybe we'll get them in there to work with you at some point. But I have to let you know that. We're going to go to break. Grill Nation Show with Jason Grill, joined today by Jon Snyder, who's the founder of Imperial Golf. Their website is ImperialGolfKC.com. Check it out. We'll be right back. Okay.
Cool. What do you think? Going smooth?
It's going great. Far? We're doing well. And then we got segment 3 and 4. This will be another longer segment. We're kind of into more about golf. Yeah, we can go in and out however you'd like. But I could talk to you all day long. And unfortunately,
absolutely,
I get 30 minutes with you when I come see you. Okay, so
I know
we're ready to roll already. He's already filmed us and taped us. So we'll get going here. And 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the Grill Nation Show with Jason Grill. Again, I am joined today by Jon Snyder, who's the founder of Imperial Golf. Their website is ImperialGolfKC.com. I had the opportunity to get serious about golf, and this is not a sponsored show. This is not a promotional thing. This is truly I walked in there. I saw an ad on Groupon at some point, and I said, you know what? I actually want to get better at golf. So I went to John, and he's attempting to help me. So
it's gone well.
Yeah, right. Jon Snyder is with us. Okay, so what happens? What does the process look like when Jason Grill walks in there, an average golfer walks in there who plays once every couple weeks? What happens next? I mean, you just kind of align like a program with them, and you get started.
Yeah. Well, there's obviously a general process on one side of it, but it's also very specific to the person. I'm sure you can imagine, right? Because of skill level, athletic ability, psychological ability, which might sound funny, but I mean, mental game's a big assessment we're making in that analysis, and a lot of people don't realize it. It's not meant to scare you. It's just like we're trying to mentally assess where you're at with the game and how you manage the course and how you manage your rounds and whatnot. So, but typically speaking, the process starts out with a fundamental breakdown, which is pretty standard. there's got to be some type of analysis done. So we start with a swing analysis, which you did on Groupon. That's why we put that out there. And that swing analysis is really meant to provide a baseline for the player. It's to help you understand where a lot of your fundamental problems are. And essentially, we're concerned about fixing the things that need fixing, not necessarily just tearing the whole swing apart. There's this like absolute, this kind of aura, I guess, around golf instruction that people are afraid to change things. And you were alluding to that earlier, that change is terrifying. And it is, but the fact is a golf instructor really doesn't want to make you less confident, because that would be bad for us.
Yeah, right.
So we only want to dabble in the things that really need help, and we don't really want to tear apart stuff that's working. So, but there is concrete standards for that. So when you're videotaping, you're hoping to show that student that, okay, as Golf Channel tells you to swing your swing, there aren't a million ways to hit a golf ball, right? There might be some flair differences, but how you get to the ball is pretty constant when you go pro by pro. And so there are concrete things there. It's important for us to lay those down so people aren't thinking, man, I watch YouTube and there's like 1,000 ways to do this. Why can't I just apply my own magic, But there are some constants. So fundamentals first, and then our hope is to get through that with the student so we can start delving into like mental game and strategy on the course, because that's really where we have more fun. To be honest with you, we're not challenged very much by the physical side of improvement. And I don't mean that in a smart way. It's just, that's the easy part. I mean, fixing swing plane and posture and setup, like all those routines are easy. It's almost written for us. What we're more interested in is really beyond that, delving into a player's mental game and how they navigate around the course. So that's kind of what we want to get to towards the end.
Yeah, and we haven't gotten there yet with me. So yeah,
that's not totally true.
What is kind of the average length of time that you spend with someone with the lessons and whatnot?
I would say it's still pretty common to see someone for a 16-week program. We do get a lot of people that continue going after that, and our goal is they're doing that because they've seen their progress and achieve their goals. I don't want to have to keep someone around because they're still struggling. That would be, again, really bad news. So most people are re-upping and continuing because they set new goals and they're excited to go further with it. And they've kind of seen that they can really accomplish some things. So yeah, it's probably, a 16 to 32 week time frame for most people. And that sounds like a lot, but when you think that it's a half hour once a week, it goes by fast, and you add that all up, it's not even that much time. Your program you did in the first one was 8 hours long, essentially. So
yeah, so if I paid you money and I just said, hey, John, you're going to be with me for 3 straight days, or 2,
it would be useless.
Saturday and Sunday, essentially, that'd be 16 hours, which is essentially 32 training.
Yeah.
It's like,
which people do that, right? Because they go to the McLean schools and the Haney schools and pay them $5,000 to be there for 2 days, and then they come back and they're like, I'm not really any better. And it's like, it's so much information, and it's not the academy's fault. It's that, you've done this for 2 days. You have to go out and put the time in.
Yeah.
It's an experience. It's an experience that they're paying for. So it's great instruction. It's just, you need time. So that's why the half hour, not seeming like it's not a lot, it's there to just establish the process every week. And then it's up to you to go out and do the work and follow the directions we give you. And we try to be as clear as possible in that.
Jon Snyder is our guest. Imperial Golf. Their website is imperialgolfkc.com. Okay, John, I started golf lessons with you personally. What are your thoughts?
Where do I start? It has been an awesome experience, man. I thoroughly enjoy working with you, and I'm not just saying that because we're on the camera. You've been a lot of fun to work with from the standpoint of obviously got a great personality. I'm just smoozing you now, at this point.
No,
But no, it's
was going to be seriously, John. How am I doing with my golf swing? No more schmoozing.
No more schmoozing. No, you're doing great. What I was going to say is, joking aside, that I enjoy working with people that are as engaged as you, and if you can recommend more people to us that are as engaged as you are, I'll be a very happy guy. So, because these processes aren't easy, as you've been able to tell, right? It's been a fight. You've been really trying to learn the basis of swing playing. That's been your big fight, and you're getting there, definitely. What would you say you're 70% there? I would say probably on swing plane. 75%.
Yeah, we've got the swing plane, but then the problem is you've told me I need to use my lower body, which everyone knows. It's just kind of getting the two to work together.
Yeah, and you've actually already started to have moments doing it, but by no means is it natural for you yet. But really, in my experience, you're in a pretty normal time frame. Right. For the average guy that's athletic as you are, like you have all the coordination, you have the hand eye, you're in no ways like, are you behind the curve? If probably anything, you're ahead of it. Swing playing, it's not easy to learn how to deconstruct your whole golf swing and start over. So I think you've done great, dude. I think you've done great. It's been fun.
My goal, and I appreciate that, John, my goal is to continue to improve, to become a more consistent golfer to where I'm walking up to a swing and no matter where I'm at, and I know I can hit the ball and it won't shank. I mean, I know you're going to have bad golf shots. We don't do this like pros every single day of our lives, but
absolutely,
just to get more of the mental consistency and the swing consistency is my goal. And I will say this, I have already flown through the first 16. I have decided I'm going to take 16 more lessons. So hopefully at the end of that, even if not, like hopefully we continue to improve. And that's kind of a goal of mine.
Yeah. And again, as your coach, that's all I want for you too. There's in no way do we ever want to be wasting anyone's time. It's all about progression. So, and then there are times where I get to a place with a student where they've hit their goals and we're happy with where their swing is. And I kind of kick them out of the nest. I don't want to keep interrupting their process if they're settled, and they're at a place that they want to be. So we do want to get to that point where you're just self-sufficient.
I love it. Yeah. Jon Snyder is our guest today. John, what is your favorite part of teaching golf at Imperial Golf?
Boiling it down to a simplistic view, just the interaction with people. I mean, we had done another podcast. I don't know if you saw it on our website. We posted it on our website. It was with a guy in town that does like a golf. It's kind of a golf specific podcast. It's called Grip and Golf. Have you ever heard of it?
I have not, but I'll check it out.
Yeah, we did it was like 2.5 hours. Apparently a few beers and limited time is not a good combination. It was a long talk, but I bring it up because he said something in that podcast that kind of hit me and I didn't even realize it, but we were talking about how passionate we were about instruction and whatnot. And he stopped me and said, John, I think you guys are just passionate about people. And I was like, I hadn't actually thought of it that way. I was just like, I love golf. I love teaching, but that kind of hit me because I was like, yeah, that's true. I do like socializing with people. I like learning about myself and how I can grow and then helping other people grow.
Yeah, that's a great answer. And I'll say that John has to kick me out whenever I get up there for a lesson. I live 30 minutes away now. And, you drive up there and then you just get all these morsels. And then there's a line for so many students now because he's doing such good work.
No, stop, man.
He's got to cut me off, man. He's got to be like, okay, done being a single person. I got to go to the next one.
It's true. And I hope you understand it's nothing personal.
No, I know. Okay, John, what are the best and worst parts of your golf game? I know you don't get to play very much, but I know you have been sneaking away to
that's
play
not
courses.
Yeah, that's not totally true. I mean, the mantra that a teacher stops playing is pretty true. But JT and I really, it's been a struggle, but we make a point to stay on a regular schedule. So we're at minimum playing a round a week, and most of the time right now we're getting in 2 rounds a week. So that's not too bad for an instructor, because a lot of instructors go a month without playing. Now we don't get a ton of practice time, but so truth be told, cultivation of skills is at a minimum right now, just because we don't have a lot of practice time. So we kind of like to joke that our current golf games are riding off history. Like all my past skills, I'm just utilizing all my past skills. My weakness is one that's been a weakness for a long time, which is long game. I can hit the driver really well. I can hit long clubs really well, and then kind of just lose my rhythm randomly. It's hard to maintain that. For me, and I ain't in no way bragging about this, but strength is definitely short game and putting. And I'm a little odd in the sense that I can have no practice with short game or putting and still have feel. Yeah. For whatever reason. I just don't struggle there. And so thankfully it saves me. I mean, if you do get, wayward on the long ball, you can kind of save yourself with short game and putting. So, yeah.
Jon Snyder is our guest, ImperialGolfKC.com. We will be right back after the break. Thanks for joining us today on the Grill Nation Show with Jason Grill.
Cool.
Yeah, I forgot to start my clock on that segment, so I had to cut you off there.
Oh, that's all right. It was clean.
Yeah. We were flying through this show, man. I really feel that I could ask you more questions about the journey at the beginning, but I wanted to make sure that we were able to discuss kind of your business and
I appreciate
what the process is like.
Yeah, I'm good with both. The background stuff is nice because you come in for a half hour. A lot of people don't know our backgrounds, so this is an opportunity for them to get to know us better.
Okay. And we're going to start here again in 3, 2, 1. Everybody, and welcome back to the Grill Nation Show with Jason Grill. Thanks for joining us on radio, on podcast, on our website, grillnationshow.com. We're here today on the live stream. You can also watch all of our live stream shows that we've taped and see all the video of all the shows at our YouTube page. Just go to Grill Nation Show with Jason Grill. Best for last segment here with Jon Snyder, founder of Imperial Golf. Their website is ImperialGolfKC.com. John, what is your favorite golf course in Kansas City?
That's a tough question. We just played, I think I told you about this. We just played Hallbrook last week.
Yeah.
And that's up there. I hadn't been there before and thought, wow, this place is gorgeous. It's really, really neat. Shadow Glen is up there for us. We played Shadow Glen a year and a half ago and hadn't played that either. And I'd say that kind of blew me out of the water. In some ways, I used to really like the National, but man, when we went to Shadow Glen, I was like, "Boy, the National is piddly sticks compared to this." It's nothing against
the National. Is an iconic clubhouse, man.
Yeah, and it's nothing against the National. It just, I think Shadow Glen, from a course layout standpoint, just takes the cake. It's gorgeous. Have you played there?
I need to play that one again. I haven't been there in probably 10 years for a scramble. John, favorite golf course in the U.S. you've ever played?
That's also kind of tough because I played a lot of great courses in Myrtle Beach when we were out there. We competed a lot out in Myrtle Beach. I did play TPC Sawgrass. That deserves a mentioning. The famous 17th at Sawgrass, which I parred, by the way. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter if I shot 84 or 76 or whatever. I parred 17.
I did not par that whole.
No, we did not shoot great. JT and I played it together, actually.
Yeah, and I played it in a rainstorm. I played actually pretty decent, but not too good on that hole.
We played from the tips, and I don't think we shot better than something like 78 or 79 or something. I can't remember.
Beautiful course, beautiful condition. Yeah. What's a course you want to play that you haven't? That's always kind of been a lifelong dream. Anywhere in the world.
Anywhere in the world. I mean, it's cliche to say Augusta. but it's the truth. I mean, just to see the layout. I really like courses like Bandon. I haven't been to Bandon, or even like Whistling Straits. Have you been to Whistling Straits?
I have, yes. I did play that. I was at a wedding in Madison.
Yeah.
I stayed in a Hampton Inn or some really bad hotel really close to that golf course. And it cost me like $45 for the night. I arrived at like midnight and got up at like 5:30 to play the golf course with these
sounds
people.
like my thing, dude. I would have been there.
Mike County, awesome. Whistling Straits, shout out Alex, was awesome. Great experience.
Awesome.
I highly recommend it if you ever get up to Milwaukee.
Well, that's the thing. I can't impress you because you've been to so many amazing golf courses.
Well, I mean, I just make it a priority if I'm going somewhere. I want to see if I can get away. But so you'd say one of those kind of water courses.
Yeah, and links. I like that link style golf. It's a different experience. I love it. So.
Well, we got the Open this week, so we'll be tuning in. Best golf advice you've ever received? You said you had mentors. What can you share with our listeners?
Well, and it plays a lot into what our focus is at Imperial, but best golf advice for me was pre-PAT. PAT is the playing test for your PGA stuff and all that, and it's a 36-hole day. Basically, you play 2 18-hole rounds, and I had scanned the course a day or two before with the head of tour operations of TaylorMade at the time. So he was working with like Dustin Johnson and all these other guys, and that was probably my most mind-blowing experience, was learning how to really manage the course, because I was already a competitive player per se, thought I was decent, but he really helped me understand how to navigate the golf course and think about, strategy and game management differently. So I know it's a broad answer, but if every player worked on their mental game, they would make strides in golf. I mean, forget the physical stuff. Like if you were working on your control of mental game, that would be the key.
Love it. So, favorite golfer of all time?
So Tin Cup. How about that? Yeah. No, it's again also cliche. It has to be Tiger, and that's only because I grew up in the surge of Tiger. I'm right in that perfect age range where every kid, including myself, I was spending 2 hours a night on the putting green 5 days a week, and like mumbling to myself that I was Tiger on the 18th at Augusta, and all the cliche stuff. But he would have to be most inspirational, at least.
What about right now? Is there anyone right now on the tour that you really enjoy watching, or they're playing or not?
There's a few guys I enjoy watching that haven't always been as successful too. I mean, I've always been a big Ricky Fowler fan. He's just because of his demeanor, Now, Butch Harmon came down hard on him once for hey, are you trying to be a social media superstar, or do you want to actually win golf tournaments? Which it's like, I can kind of see why he had to say that. But Ricky's such a classy dude. Like a lot of people really, really respect him on the course. Yeah. So I always enjoy watching him. And it's been said that I have a putting stroke that mimics Ricky Fowler's.
Well, we had a putting lesson, and it was very brief, but hopefully you can teach me more about putting. Yeah, I need to work on that. If you're at a golf course, John, and we're in our best for last segment with Jon Snyder, the founder of Imperial Golf. Their website is imperialgolfkc.com. What are you eating? What are you drinking? Do you bring your lunch? Do you buy a hot dog at the turn? Do you ever drink on a golf course? What do you do?
There's a few rules there. I always joke with students that I look like the healthiest son of a gun on the golf course. Not off the golf course, but just on the golf course. Okay. But no, so something that's really important on the course is sustained energy. Like you don't want fake energy. So, sugar generally not good. So like Gatorade a little bit here, okay, but you shouldn't be eating candy bars. You shouldn't be eating hot dogs, for gosh sakes. One little trick that Tiger does used to do a lot was make a PB&J on whole grain bread, and then he'd slice it into 3 pieces and then eat a piece every 6 holes. And it gives you this like perfect balanced energy. Plus you might throw in a little trail mix or like a banana or something like that, half a banana. And so tons of water.
Doing all the wrong things because I chug Gatorade on these hot days.
Yeah, that's how you crash and burn.
Okay. Well, really noted. I'm going to start.
Yeah.
God, I haven't had a PB&J in a long time.
Well, it's a
Imagine if
perfect
I start
balance.
showing up for my training sessions with you with like a PB&J cut into 3 slices. Hey,
Every 10 minutes.
John, we got a few seconds, a few minutes left. What has been your favorite thing about being in Kansas City now that you're a transplant here? You didn't grow up here. What have you really embraced about Kansas City? I know you're working all the time, but is there one thing or a couple things you've really enjoyed?
It is a really balanced city. It's a fun city. There's a lot to do here for sure, and the people. In my experience, the people have been phenomenal. I mean, it feels like home to me because it's still the Midwest, and so I get along with the people well here, similar mindsets and whatnot. But um, my wife and we've enjoyed going to sporting events. I mean, ironically, we're in no way fans of any Kansas City team. Well, that's not true. My wife's kind of a Royals fan, but
Yeah.
I'm a Cardinals fan, which means everyone just clicked
Wow,
off this
that was
podcast.
that was a great 45 minutes with Jon Snyder.
Yeah, exactly. And everyone's gone. So, yeah, I'm a big Hawkeye. Yeah, so we love the Hawkeyes. I mean, in Iowa, they're religion for us, basically.
But in Iowa, do they root for the Chiefs or the Vikings or the Packers? Who are we rooting for? I know you get into Cubs country up there.
Yeah, my brother's a big Cubs fan, so we're always at each other's throats. But pro teams, it's so spread. Now, most of my family is from Wisconsin, so we're all Packers fans.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
We won't hold those things against you because more people outside of Kansas City will listen to the show too. So, Jon Snyder, ImperialGolfKC.com is the website. I love this place. I go there all the time. Jon is helping me with my golf game. They have a simulator they're going to be expanding. You can find out more information at ImperialGolfKC.com, where you can book your swing analysis, your lessons, your golf simulator time. I played St. Andrews on Saturday. Just an awesome business, Jon. I appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing your story and everything that you're doing to try to grow and to help golfers here in the community of Kansas City.
Yeah, thanks, man, and thank you for assisting us and with that growth and everything too. It's been great coming on.
And thank you to the listeners for joining us, for watching on the YouTube, for watching on the live stream, or by listening on the radio or podcast. We greatly appreciate it. Again, reach out to me at Jason Grill on Twitter. We will talk soon. Have a great week. Take care. Okay, Jon, we're going to do our sneak peek segment. This will be a 2-minute and 15-minute segment. We're still on the live stream here.
How long?
2 minutes and 15 seconds.
Okay.
So I'm going to draft a question that we can preview the show with. I really am fascinated by you telling people kind of like the 2 to 3 things that are the most important things when you play golf. You did say the best advice you'd ever received. I think that's an interesting way to kind of get people to tune in and also connect with you. Also,
it's a bit broad. I don't know if you wanted a more specific answer, but it's the truth, though.
Yeah. I like that. Also, too, I think if you could work in there some of the things that you told me about. You got to get your swing plane right because the fundamentals of the golf, you figure those out are kind of all the same, and then kind of go into the mental part too. Mm-hmm. So maybe you start with best advice you ever received or best golf advice you could share. Start with that beginning of that process.
Yeah,
you work through with me, and then kind of go into that mentor advice you received. Does that work?
Yeah. So you want to do, the physical stuff I've done with you first, and then kind of talk mental game at the end.
Yep.
Yeah. Are you going to ask me a question, or do you want me to just start talking about it? Okay, gotcha. Why can't we do this all day? I don't really want to go teach today.
I know. We'll have you on again at some point. Maybe when I'm done with all my lessons.
Do you ever do them with 2 people? Would you ever have JT on 2?
I could have up to probably I've had up to 8 people on here before, maybe. But with Wi-Fi, it gets kind of interesting.
How was my connection? It seemed all right. We had that one glitch, right?
Yeah, that was me. I think. I have pretty high speed though. Okay, so the question will be best advice you can share about improving your golf game. Does that work for you?
Yeah. So then I'll kind of go into both the physical and mental side.
Yep.
Cool.
And
Yeah.
I'm going to pull this up here in a second. Give me 1 second here. Okay. And we will tape it here in 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this Grill Nation Show One Question Sneak Peek. I am joined today by Jon Snyder, who is the founder of Imperial Golf. Their website is imperialgolfkc.com. Jon, one question for you today. Best advice you can share about improving your golf game?
Well, we'll be kind of broad here. We're going to talk about the physical and the mental side real quick. But physically, there's a fundamental constant there. We got to have a good fundamental basis, and a lot of that revolves around swing plane in general. Swing plane is a starting point. I'm not saying it's the only point, but if you can't get the club in the right spot, man, it's hard to be consistent. It's hard to be repeatable. So in any of our programs, it starts with that. It's a fundamental breakdown of the movements. It's a lot of motion practice. And we get rid of the ball actually for a little bit so you can understand that motion better, even in your own practice. And then, the goal is to then bridge into the mental side of the game, and kind of where it comes from. Some of the best advice I ever really received was learning how to manage the course and having an 18-hole runaround with a really high-level professional, and understanding how to think my way through the course. And I had just never done that before. So that can be done in playing lessons even. I just had a playing lesson here this last Monday, but that's a great segue into how you really play good golf long-term. So mental game and everything. Yeah.
Jon Snyder is our guest. He is the founder, again, of Imperial KC. Their website is imperialkc.com. Thanks for joining us for this one question sneak peek. It's going to be an awesome show this week. We're going to get into his business, how he got into golf, the fact that I am now going through lessons with Jon. We'll break those down, how those are going. We're going to find out what his favorite courses are. We're going to get more advice. We're going to get more tips. We're going to talk about the expansion of his business and the growth. And what's next for Imperial Golf, all on the Grill Nation show this week. We'll see you soon. Thanks for joining us today for this One Question Grill Nation show sneak peek. Okay, hold on a second, Jon.
I was